Welcome to Early Reading. I'm Sam. Before anyone asks, I'm wearing my contacts today. Excuse the lighting. I'm trying something new with my computer. The audio on my phone that I've been using to record isn't the best, but I'm trying to see how the video quality is on my computer so I can try to find a nice happy medium to have good audio and good photo quality. We'll figure it out. Today, I'm reviewing Under a Graveyard Sky by John Ringo. This was recommended to me by Shadow Squirrel. Shout out. So Under a Graveyard Sky is a zombie book. You may have seen in past videos, I've been kind of on a zombie kick. I've been reading quite a few post-apocalyptic horror books over the last couple years, and I enjoyed it, but we got some issues, so let's get into all that. Under a Graveyard Sky follows a family. It's the Smith family with Dad Stephen, Mom Stacy, and their two daughters, Sophia and Faith, who are both teenagers. When a zombie outbreak happens, they already have plans in place because they've been in survival mode and they know that things could very quickly go wrong. So they start to follow their plans as society falls apart. Included in their plans is getting onto a boat and getting out to water. And that's where this book was really interesting to me. I've never read a zombie book where the majority of the action takes place out at sea. I thought that was really interesting and really unique, for what I've read at least, and that was really intriguing as a concept. That part I really, really loved. I also really loved the family itself. Faith is my favorite character. I really liked seeing the way that, it's not realistic that she would be as weapon happy and as weapon knowledgeable as she is, but it's a zombie apocalypse. I'm not asking for realism personally when I'm reading these. I'm asking for a good time. And with Faith, I did have a good time. I liked her descriptions. I liked that she's a little off the rails. And I also really like how later in the book it talks about how this is impacting her psychologically, because she is so young and it would make sense that she would be kind of messed up by some of the things that she's seeing. So I really liked that characterization. I also really liked the pacing. Things went by really quick. A lot of stuff is covered very quickly, and I appreciate the fast pacing. That's always a good time to me. It kept me reading. So the main characters are really fun. The plot is very interesting, and I do want to see more of this world and the way that the maritime adventures keep unfolding. But let's get into the nitty-gritty, because there's definitely some gritty going on. One of the things that didn't work for me was some of the transitions. So there are points where the book just kind of jumps from spot to spot within a chapter. So you'll be doing one thing and then it'll be a page break, and it'll go to another paragraph, and it's something like a couple weeks in the future, or it's like the next day, or it's like a couple months have passed, or the same thing happens between chapters. You'll read one chapter and you'll be like, okay, cool. Then you get to the very next chapter and it's like, all right, a few months later we've cleared out this many ships, and it's like, what? There are a lot of time skips, and the way that they're handled, I wasn't a fan. I don't like the jump immediately from one to the next without smooth transitions. So that was something that did get on my nerves a little bit as I was reading. But that's not what actually gets me the most about this book. This book has some characters who say lines that I am just not a fan of. And there are some moments where Ringo, it seems like he says some things for shock value. Like the way that he handles the gay police officer at the beginning was really weird to me. And some of the mentioning of some of the queer characters was really weird. There's no queer protagonist or queer supporting character who is good, apart from the officer in the beginning, who is basically just zombie collateral to help set up the story. Not a fan of that. Also, some of the shock value also comes with the handling of Faith, because Faith is a teenager. She's the youngest in the family, and there are a couple of characters who I liked in general before they say some things where it's like, Sir, she's a teenager, where they are basically so impressed by her skills that they're like, if you were legal, I'd be proposing immediately. And I'm just like, I don't, I understand it's a zombie apocalypse. I understand it's fiction. I really don't think you should be saying that to a teenage girl. I'm sorry. I don't. I don't find that appropriate, and I don't find it enjoyable to read. I really could have done without those brief moments. I think it happens maybe twice. I think it's twice. So it's not all the time, but when it does happen, it feels weird. It feels so weird. Ugh. No, 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 no. So yeah, at times like the writing style just gets clunky and it feels like some sentences are interjected just to be like, hey, look at this. And I'm like, I don't want to look at that. You could have kept that to yourself. You definitely could have. I did not see a need for at least 4 or 5 different instances like that. Again, it's not a lot. It's just enough to be noticeable very highly. So with those things, I did have to take my rate a step down, but I'm hoping that that lessens as the series progresses, because I am going to continue with the series. I very much like the concept. I want to see what happens to these characters, and my library had the first book, and now they have the second book as well, To Sail a Darkling Sea, I believe it's called. So I have that checked out, and I'll be reading that soon. And hopefully some of that clunkiness goes away. I'm really hoping that we get away from the creeper vibes on the teenage girl. Please, please, please. But as far as the zombies are concerned and like the actual zombie action that I came in for, top notch. Really enjoyed it. Really, really loved the action scenes. Really loved the details. I really enjoyed the way the world is set up and the way that it does take to the sea and the ocean for these adventures, and how there is a lot of figuring out how things are going to work when the system is completely broken and in chaos. I really like that. I love the concept. I do wish the execution was a bit stronger. So right now I'm writing at about a 2.5 to 3 stars. 3 is usually I like it. 4 is I really liked it and I'll recommend it. 5 is I love this, I'm buying it, I'm telling everybody to read it. Okay, so 3 is my I like it. 2 is my I really wanted to like it, but there were issues. 1 is I didn't like it at all. So I'm writing between the I like it, but there are issues. So like 2.5, 2.75 maybe? With hopes that the rest of the series will get better. And I mean, I'm hoping that as Faith ages, things will get a lot smoother and be less creepy. If you enjoy zombie books, I do think that Under a Graveyard Sky is a good zombie book. But be forewarned that it has a few moments that will make you raise your eyebrows like, what did I just read? And the transitions aren't always the smoothest when it comes to the time skips. But again, that it almost feels like a minor detail compared to some of the rest of the story. But really, if you know that going in and you're aware of it, I think you can still have a really good time with this book. I will keep you all posted on my thoughts on the series as I continue to read it. I do want to give it another chance since the concept is so strong, and we will see how it goes. I'll keep you posted on if I fully recommend this series as a whole from book to book. So, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe. If you do leave comments, I love getting book recommendations. I will read them, as you can see. If you want more bookish content outside of YouTube, I'm on Instagram at Royally Reading and Dreams of Tomorrowland. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!